Welcome to the No Name MMA Show. Good morning, everybody. This is Sunday, June 26th. My name is Motivated Andy, and this is the big picture. We're going to be going over the weekend's cards. We had Bellator, we had PFL action, we had UFC action. We're going to be mostly talking about UFC, but there are some things that I want to bring attention to because not enough of you motherfuckers, you hardcores, you crazy guys that go out of your way to listen to me, you clearly watch enough MMA to know what the fuck is up. Yet, not enough people are talking about certain people. And it's making me feel feelings, not the good kind, the kind where I'm like, am I the only one watching the same thing? Yesterday, my brother came by to watch the fights. We did some things to further enhance our viewing pleasure for UFC on ESPN back at the Apex after an extraordinary couple of events, UFC 275 and then UFC Austin. We're back at the Apex with an amazing main event between Umar Nurmagomedov and Gamrot. We'll talk about that in a second. First, let's talk about Bellator. What happened on Friday night? There was a couple of things that I wanted to touch on. First, Homasi is a beast. Mandel Nalo is a beast. You should be paying attention if you have not. You're missing out on potential highlight reel knockouts, which they had in this card. But in terms of other stuff, Danny Sabatello against Leandro Higo. Danny Sabatello goes out there, puts out another dominant wrestling performance. He moves on to the Bellator Grand Prix semifinals, where he's going to be facing Rafion Stotts for the interim bantamweight belt. This is one of the best things that could have happened to Bellator MMA. I mean, Bellator they have an embarrassment of riches at this point, and I just don't know what they're really actually trying to do. I don't get it. How are you going to start promoting Danny Sabatello the week of? Yeah, Danny had some interviews the week before he was on the MMA Hour, but up until that point, I didn't see shit. I didn't see fuck all up until the day of the fight. Did you guys notice anything? And Danny Sabatello is not one to be short of words. So, what the fuck? Are you gonna put out a little, UFC embedded bullshit, 2 days prior to the fight? Danny Sabatello he's already done more than Sean O'Malley in terms of bantamweight picture, I am an actual contender. Straight up. Sean O'Malley's playing touch butt in the park. He's about to fight prelim Pedro. And Danny Sabatello is now going to be fighting the interim bantamweight champ. In 2 fights. Danny Sabatello has the potential to be Bellator's Sean O'Malley. 100%, if not way more. That is a big fucking cash cow. And the potential there for something amazing, Bellator needs to, so badly, hit the ground running and start selling the Rafion Stotts Danny Sabatello fight. Because that shit is fucking fireworks. And people need to start talking about him more. I get it, but he's so polarizing. You have to put this motherfucker in front of people and make them feel either that they love him or that they hate him, because he's He's one or the other, and it's very clear. You don't go, I don't know about Danny Sabatello. You go, oh, fuck that guy, or I fuck with that shit. One or the other. Put him in front of everybody and make everybody make that mental decision to acknowledge him, and he will do the rest. He will make them hate him or love him. Let him do it. The face-off between both of them after Danny won and they, made the official announcement was perfect. I mean, Bellator is getting these layups of amazingness, and they just miss it. They fucking miss it. It's a layup. That is an easy fight to sell. It's not hard. It's not like you're going to be pinching your balls to sell that fight. You're going to go out there willingly because it's a fun fucking fight. We also had two other bantamweights earning their spot. We had not two other, but I forgot his first name, but Magomed, number 4, goes out there. Subs Barzola. Becomes the first fighter to finish Barzola, which was pretty dope. But let's move on and talk about the main event, because Gegard Mousasi, widely regarded as pound for pound, talking about like 3, 2, 4 at the very least for middleweight, goes out there and gets just manhandled by Eblen. Eblen becomes one of the first champs to go undefeated. And Bellator MMA, again, I wish that the first thing that Bellator fighters after winning the championship is not, I'm the best in the world. Because you immediately bring comparisons to the UFC. Bellator fighters need to stay in their lane and just say, I am the champ. Stop trying to compare yourself to other organizations. Stop giving the other organizations the clout. Stop giving shine to another organization that you are not fighting for, that you are not the champion for. Stop doing that. Please, please, please. Take a page out of Danny Sabatello's book, hype up your opponent, tell them how good they are, tell the world how good they are, and then tell them how you are better. Do that and you're fine. You're golden. You're goose egg. But then as soon as you I'm the best in the world. Oh, you're better than Izzy. You're better than Alex Pereira. You're better than Sean Strickland. You're better than Paulo Costa. You might be. But guess what? They're getting paid millions and you're on Showtime. And I'm sorry, but that is real life. We're not playing this fairy tale like, oh, you can fight. You don't even have the option to fight these people. Why are you bringing them up? In any way, shape, or form. It's taking shine away from you. We're talking about you not giving yourself appropriate shine. But still, takes out Gegard. Gegard was on a 4-fight winning streak. 49 and some change. Fucking insane Gegard stats. What are we looking at? 49 wins, 8 losses, 2 draws, 36 years old. Gegard Mousasi is insane. But he loses his belt. Eblen is the new middleweight champion. But fuck all that Bellator shit. I'm not going to be talking about the PFL. Anthony Pettis gets submitted by a modified body lock. He still makes the playoffs. Cool. That's pretty much it. Kayla Harrison lost her opponent. Is fighting some bum off the street. I think with a 500 record. Last minute notice opponent for next week, I think. So Kayla Harrison fights her hardest opponent to date, apparently. But let's start talking about the shit that we all wanted to hear about. UFC on ESPN, Tsarukyan versus Gamrot. Let's talk about the prelims first, because we did have some pretty fun ones and some really weird shit. We start off the day with Vanessa Demopoulos versus Jinyu Frey. Vanessa Demopoulos, if you don't know, is the person that jumped into Joe Rogan's hands during that pay-per-view fight. She jumps up on Michael Bisping's arms this time around. I didn't have her winning. I saw her getting pieced up. There was somebody put, a judge had the fight 30-27 for her. I don't know what the fuck they were doing. She ends up winning the decision. Yeah, I don't know. Open scoring, right, guys? Because the judges are going to stay the same. So good thing we know what the score is. We then have Mario Batista going out there and subbing Brian Kelleher in the same way he's been subbed before by rear naked choke. Brian Kelleher really needed this win. He won't get cut. He's still a really fun fighter and he's game for everybody. But he's looking a lot like that kind of guy that doesn't get a big contract. You know what I'm saying? Tough L. Speaking of fighters that needed a win, and I think the MMA community as a whole was really backing this dude. JP Buys, ex-husband of Cheyenne Buys, Cheyenne Bellismus now, I guess, or whatever. He was facing Cody Durden. Cody Durden was the guy who said, I want to send him back to China, about a Chinese fighter that he fought before. So JP Buys has everybody on his side, coming off of the wife thing, coming off some issues with his visa because of the wife thing, and also everybody hated Cody Durden. I mean, currently hates. I still hate the dude. I don't like the dude. JP Buys going into that with 0-2, coming off of the Contender Series. He really needed a finish, to be completely fucking honest. He needed a finish. Cody Durden robs him of that. Bum rushes him, gets him out in the first round. JP Buys is probably going to be cut. And Cody Durden gets a win. Like, he needed that. It sucks. Because he essentially waited like a year with visa issues to have this fight just to get knocked the fuck out. And by Cody Durden. Like, to further shit on that. I mean, it sucks, dude. Tough life. After that, we had the bantamweight fight between another fighter who needed a win. Halian against Sergey Morozov. Halian, he's one of those dudes, he was coming from flyweight, made his debut in bantamweight, beat Kyler Phillips, who was a pretty good prospect, then fights Sean O'Malley, gets knocked out. He really just, I feel like he's really trying his best to make this thing work in terms of professional fighting. He just keeps on getting like bullshit things. And in this fight, in the first round, he hits Sergey, and he gets Sergey on that chicken stanky leg dance for a minute. And you can see Paiva's eyes light up. Like, he needed that. He needed that. Not because of his job, not because of the fight, not because of any, like, he needed to see that he could hurt somebody. You could tell, like, that click, like, oh, thank God, I still can hurt somebody. Like, I'm not just losing these fights. Like, I have talent to win. It ended up not being enough, though. He had that first round, but then Morozov was building back. You can feel the wave of that second round. He was doing a little better. That third round, he was just smothering Paiva, and he ends up getting the decision victory over Paiva. Paiva is now 1-2 in his new division. Like, damn. We then had the decision between Shah Yalan and TJ Brown. That was pretty cool. And then Carl's Olberg. He's such a pretty looking dude. I wish he was tested a little bit more. I had Tafon winning that one. Carlos Olberg, I think he's good, but I want to see him tested more. Like, yeah, he doesn't even have 10 professional fights, but I think he is getting just a little bit of that Paige Van Sant treatment of him being so pretty. Even though for men it really doesn't matter like that because knockouts count. And he's getting knockouts. Just, I don't know. It's just missing something. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe I'm hating because he's so pretty. Maybe that's it. Carl Zolberg, though, I don't know. I'm still feeling sus about him. Congrats on the win, though. First round knockout. Can't take that away from him. But then we move on to the main event. Finally the main event. It was a long fight night, but it was a good fight night. I liked it. I don't know. We then had Chris Curtis going up against Rodolfo Vieira. Chris Curtis said, "Hey, I'm down to grapple with you." Rodolfo Vieira, ADCC, multiple time champion. Even though he's 8-1 in the UFC, I feel like he's had losses before. Like, he's come back after getting beat in the UFC. It was always that question of a gas tank, and then Chris Curtis just expedited that conversation by landing these amazing shots. He was pulling from that Stipe Miocic catalog of body shots by DC and just ripping insane bombs to Rodolfo Vieira. It was dope to watch. I was just like, damn, oh god. And just kept on ripping it. And Rodolfo Vieira, just tough as shit. But Chris Curtis, again. I mean, Chris Curtis at middleweight is on fire. And he needs a ranked opponent. He needs one. What are we doing? Why are we not giving this man... like, what are we doing? I just don't get it. Sorry, I just saw some news popped up. Breaking news. Miesha Tate versus Lauren Murphy is off for next week's card. Lauren Murphy suffered an undisclosed injury, and that is gone. I'm sure they're gonna probably put. If it's me, I'm gonna put Cerrone versus Miller up on that pay-per-view. Miller has not been on a main card. I think not the last fight, the fight before last was his first time as a main event in like years. So a main event against Donald Cerrone and possibly his last fight, being on the main event of a pay-per-view. Fuck yeah, Jim Miller. Let's do that. Sorry, I went on a tangent. So, Chris Curtis. Yeah, he just needs ranked competition at middleweight. Which is crazy. Which is insane. This guy made his debut last year for the UFC after not making it, after being in Dana White's Contender Series. Yeah, he needs that ASAP. Who the fuck do you give him at middleweight? Man, just absolutely on fire. ever since that loss to Ray Cooper III in PFL all the way back in 2019. Chris the Action Man Curtis, pay attention. Pay attention to him, because fuck. After that, we have another fight where we saw Nathan Maness 14-1 going up against Umar Nurmagomedov. The conversation that I was having with my brother prior to this was Adrian Yanez. Adrian Yanez is dope. Adrian Yanez is cool. Adrian Yanez is on a winning streak, knocking out fools, knocking out the fools that he needed to knock out. But do I agree with his ranking? No. For all the Adrian Yanez stands out there that think that him being ranked is dope, look at the two fuckers that are not ranked. Nathan and Umar. Throw Umar against Adrian. What do you think happens? Yet Umar is not ranked. See what I mean? It's that hype. And I'm not saying that Adrian Yanez isn't deserving of the hype, because he is going out there. He is on a fight winning streak. He is knocking out fools. But against what competition are we looking at, though? Because we have to take that into account. Umar goes out there, gets the decision victory over Nathan Maness. Nathan Maness was game. He just kind of survived, though. And another thing that my brother pointed out during the fight is that these motherfuckers are so incepted by the idea of competing with these dudes that they almost give up the position. Nathan Maness was hugged by Umar, and he kind of fell into Umar's full guard. That was great. Umar didn't pull. He fell into it. And that was the name of the game for the rest of the fight. Umar gets the victory. He moves to 15-0. But yeah. After that, we have Thiago Moises going out there getting the first round submission. First round submission over Christos Giagos. I saw Christos Giagos and immediately I called bitch. I could see it in the eyes. I could see that embedded haircut curse right from the get-go. I could see it. And Thiago Moises, he needed... the theme of the card was people need wins. It was a lot of make it or break it for me that I saw on the card. And the people that were supposed to, or not supposed to, that needed it more, did not come through. Except for Thiago. Thiago goes out there, gets a first round sub over bitch-made Christos Giagos. I have no remorse for hating this dude. I don't know why I hate him. He's a bitch-made and I don't like him. And Thiago Moises gets it done. Thank God. Because he needed it. We then have two other sus fighters. I don't know what it was, but I just saw Josh Parisian and I was like, I don't like him. And I also saw Alan Badeau. He's already... one of my biggest pet peeves is when fighters start making plans. Badeau is like, oh, I'm French. There's a French card coming up. I got to get past Parisian and then I'm going to go back home. Like, dude. Have that respect for your opponent. Do not be talking about, oh, these are my plans after. Because all I hear is that you didn't focus completely on your opponent. That's all I hear. And it sucks. It makes my fight fan heart sad seeing fighters disregard their opponents and their abilities. Because that's an easy way to talk shit. That's the easiest way to sell your fight. Like, a lot of these fighters, I don't think they realize, I think they just go oh, I fight, I good, I win, that's it. No, you gotta do more. You gotta get eyeballs and asses in the seats. I don't know why I went on that tangent. It doesn't matter. Josh Parisian gets the knockout in the second round over whoever the fuck, it doesn't matter. Off to the co-main event of the evening. We have Neil Magny against Shavkat Rakhmonov. Leading up to the fight, what my thought process was initially was Shavkat Rakhmonov is that dude. Neil Magny is going to be a test. However, Shavkat is going to put in work. I think a lot of people, we romanticize how tough Neil Magny is. But remember, when we're thinking about how tough they are, that's probably because they've been in some shit where we've had to see how tough they are and how resilient they are. I.e., they've been getting their ass beat. Neil Magny was a bit of the same story. Before this fight, I was very much on that, yeah, Neil Magny could, but Shavkat is so much better. Shavkat is going to be the one dictating the pace, the terms of the fight. He's going to be the one in control, in the driver's seat the whole time. Getting closer and closer to the fight, my respect for Neil Magny was starting to wear thinner and thinner in terms of like, cool, I have respect for you, but if we're putting you up against this guy, who's better? Like, if you take it at face value, I'm gonna put Shavkat. And not only that, I'm gonna put Shavkat easy. It's easy to be the MMA dude where it's just like, well, they're pretty even. Neil Magny's pretty tough. He could pull it out. But sometimes you're just facing a bad motherfucker. A guy that's an animal. A guy that tells you that his favorite animal is horse, and then tells you, also my favorite food is horse. That kind of dude. And Shavkat makes it look easy. Again, one of those incepted mindsets where Neil Magny just kind of gave him the takedown in the first. Shavkat gets it done in the second. And to my disappointment, I mean, the whole time, they've been hyping up this dude like, hey, he learned a little bit of English. All he needed to know, the only thing he needed to say after the fight, Khamzat Chimaev. All he needed to say. And bro, when I tell you, my dick went so fucking limp when this motherfucker says Stephen Thompson. 16 fights, 16 finishes, just beats Neil Magny. Shavkat, what the fuck, bro? Hey, you know how nobody knows me? You know how nobody even gives me the respect? Maybe I call somebody big to put on a fucking show. What does he do? He goes and fights Stephen Thompson. He calls out Stephen Thompson. And just saying it out loud is pissing me off. All he needed was two fucking things. Khamzat, Chimaev. And I get it. He wants to do it right. Good for him. But dude, I think Shavkat has Chimaev. I think Chimaev is one of those, like, what I was telling my brother yesterday was, you know how it's that John Jones, incredibly athletically gifted, and he just got the right moment at the right pocket of time to just go on this streak where nobody can really come close to him because he's such an athletic freak. But we see as time moves on, there's more genetic freaks. There's more people that show up that are like, oh yeah, you know that whatever inch reach advantage, that's gone. So now what? That's gone. So now what? Khamzat had that, but I think COVID changed it up a bit. Where that craziness of going 170, 185, like, you realize, like, you can't really do that at the elite level like that. You really have to kind of hone it in. Shavkat, though, I think is a better 170er. He's a legitimate 170er. He's not going to go to 185. He's just going to stay at 170 and just practice his craft and get sharp and do that. He has the fucking numbers. If I look at that Khamzat Chimaev fight against Gilbert Burns and I'm Shavkat Rakhmonov, I'm like, dude, I want that motherfucker. Look what that little lightweight did to that 170er, apparently. That's so big. I'm eating him alive. But no, you want fucking geriatric Stephen Thompson for whatever reason. God damn it, dude. Shavkat Rakhmonov wins. Co-main. Undefeated streak still intact. Finishing streak still intact. Neil Magny was playing with house money during this fight. He took the fight nobody wanted. The fight he really wasn't going to win. And I get it, I love Neil Magny too, but no, he was just never going to win that fight. Fuck. Anyway, main event of the evening, Umar Nurmagomedov versus Gamrot. We didn't even talk about this on the show because Nina really doesn't know about either of these dudes. Umar Nurmagomedov was coming off of that finish for Joel Alvarez, who had missed weight a couple times. This was MMA karma coming back to bite his ass. Umar Nurmagomedov just destroys him with elbows. Mateusz Gamrot, 20-1 going into this fight, now 21-1 after winning against Umar Nurmagomedov. It was a very fucking close fight. However you scored it, I mean, I wasn't really scoring the fight. I was just watching it because that's what you're supposed to do instead of being some fucking freak. But I had it 2-2 going into the fifth. I honestly was not going to be mad however they decided that. I think a lot of people need to know who wins. But also, in the grand scheme of things, you're watching to enjoy. Just enjoy it for a little bit. And for me, what I saw was a really tough fight with somebody who had prior experience in championship rounds against somebody who didn't. And I saw that experience did pay off a little bit more. That's what I saw. I thought Arman won. I'm not mad that Mateusz Gamrot won. And he picked out the perfect name, Justin Gaethje. Hey, you know what? Justin Gaethje has had multiple title fights. He's been in the top 5. He needs to fight somebody that's coming up. Some of these motherfuckers do. Besides Beneil. Beneil's the only hard motherfucker at lightweight that's like, fuck it. Whatever. I'll fight this dude. Nobody wants to fight this dude? I'll fight this dude. I'm the biggest, baddest dog. It doesn't matter who it is for what I'm fighting for. I'm the biggest, baddest motherfucker here. I will fight everybody. So yeah, Mateusz Gamrot calls out. He calls out Dustin Gaethje. I love him. But yeah, Dustin Poirier or Justin Gaethje, one of those motherfuckers. You just can't sit on that shit like that. I'm sorry. Money fights at the elite end are what's gonna end up fucking up the sport. UFC has been so amazing because of the competition. Like, it's been so close. So whenever motherfuckers are begging for money fights, it just saddens me. It saddens me because it's like these dudes that are obviously alpha are begging other men. Like, that in itself is an oxymoron. And I'm just like, okay, we're just gonna be cool about this? I don't know. But that's it for my tangents, and that's it for the big picture of UFC on ESPN, UFC Fight Night, UFC Apex 57, whatever the fuck you called it. It was a good night of fights. It was a good weekend of fights. A lot of questions solved, a lot of anger, a lot of emotions, but we're coming out better people at the end of this week. And guess what, motherfuckers? Next week, first time back after COVID, UFC Fight Night. I think a decade of, not Fight Night, UFC International Fight Week. First time after COVID. 10 years, I think. Everybody's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. For some reason, last night they had a show, Khabib getting inducted into the Hall of Fame again. I guess because he was coaching Umar and he was there. Fucking sus. I don't know. I get it. But he's retired now. Stop sucking his dick. It's weird. But UFC 276 next fucking week, July 2nd. Me and my wife's 4th anniversary, too. Shout out, babe, for holding me down. But yeah, that's it for the big picture. Talk to you guys next week. Invest in your mental health. And as always, fuck you, John Jones. Later.
Call me a... I know what he calls you. Call me a fatherless bastard, dude.